I am Aligir Lingappa, Assistant Professor in Physics, Government First Grade College, Siriguppa. Today's my chapter is Electrical and Thermal Properties of Materials. So now I will discuss about the conductivity of semiconductors. So this is part 2. Yesterday we have discussed about what are semiconductors, what are the different types of semiconductors, and then intrinsic semiconductors, and the classification of solids based on a band theory of solids, and so on. So now let us discuss about properties of semiconductors. Semiconductors can conduct electricity under preferable conditions of circumstances. This unique property makes it an excellent material to conduct electricity in a controlled manner as required. That means here the semiconductors means they are the materials whose conductivity lies between that of the conductors and insulators. The conductors which conduct electricity at 0 degree that means where the semiconductors which behaves as the insulators at a low temperature, whereas at a high temperature the semiconductors which conduct electricity so called they behaves like the conductors. So called it is a study of controlled motion of electric charge in the semiconductor. Unlike conductors, the charge carriers in semiconductors arise only because of external energy. That means thermal excitation. It causes a certain number of valence electrons to cross the energy gap and jump into the conduction band, leaving an equal amount of unoccupied energy states. That holes conduction, that means holes. Conduction due to electrons and holes are equally important. So in case of intrinsic conductivity, that means in case of pure semiconductor, the conductivity which is equal to N bar E bar mu E. So where N that indicates the number of electrons which are present, E that indicates the charge of each electron, mu E mobility of the electron, and then the P E mu H, where a P that indicates the number of holes which are available in the material, E charge of each hole, then mu H mobility of the holes, then further which is equal to Ni bar E into mu E plus mu H. So resistivity of the semiconductors varies from 10 to the power of 5 to 10 to the power of minus 5 to 10 to the power of plus 6 ohm meter. So the conductivity varies from 10 to the power of plus 5 to 10 to the power of minus 6 mho per meter. So we know that the resistivity is the reciprocal of conductivity. The range of resistivity of the semiconductors from 10 to the power of minus 5 ohm meter to 10 to the power of plus 6 ohm meter. So similarly, the range of conductivity of the semiconductor 10 to the power of plus 5 mho per meter to 10 to the power of minus 6 mho per meter. So these have negative temperature coefficient. That means the temperature coefficient of semiconductor, the temperature coefficient of resistance of a conductor is positive, but the temperature coefficient of a resistance of semiconductor is negative, NTC, negative temperature coefficient. So in case of conductors where the current flow is due to only free electrons, but in case of semiconductors where the current flow which is due to both electrons and holes. So then why does the resistivity of semiconductors go down with the temperature? The difference in resistivity between conductors and semiconductor is due to their difference in charge carrier density. So the resistivity and conductivity both they depends only on the density of the charge carriers or the concentration of the charge carriers. Change in density of the charge carriers. So the resistivity of semiconductors decreases with the temperature. So because the number of charge carriers increases rapidly with increase in temperature, the number of electrons that can jump from valence band to conduction band, more number of electrons that can jump from valence band to conduction band. That means the electrons they becomes free electrons. They can jump from one atom to another atom. They are the responsible for the conduction of electricity. So the resistivity of semiconductors decreases with the increase in temperature. So because the number of charge carriers increases rapidly with increase in temperature. So making the fractional change, that is the temperature coefficient negative. So here are given some of the important properties of semiconductors. Say you can discuss one by one. So first one, semiconductors act like an insulator at 0 Kelvin. On increasing the temperature, it works as a conductor. That means the semiconductors at low temperatures behaves as like an insulator. The semiconductor at a high temperature which behaves as a conductor. That means the conductivity of the semiconductors lies between that of conductors and insulators. So due to their exceptional electrical properties, semiconductors can be modified by doping to make semiconductor devices suitable for energy conversion switches and amplifiers. So due to their electrical properties, the electrical properties of these semiconductors, they can be modified by doping to make semiconductor devices are suitable for energy conversion. So maybe in case of switches or maybe in case of amplifiers. So they have lesser power losses when compared to conductor and insulator. Here the semiconductor, they have lesser power losses. Semiconductors are smaller in size and possess less weight. Their compactness, smaller in size and weightlessness when compared to both conductors and insulators. Their resistivity is higher than the conductors but lesser than the insulators. So what we know that the conductivity of the semiconductor lies between that of the insulator and conductors. So the resistivity of the semiconductors lies between that of the insulators and conductors. So the resistivity is higher than the conductor. Resistivity of the semiconductor is higher than the conductor. Resistivity of the semiconductor is lesser than insulator. So, this is the fifth property of semiconductors. Sixth one. The resistance of semiconductor materials decreases with the increase in temperature. So, resistance of semiconductor materials decreases with the increase in temperature and vice versa. Because of this, where at low temperature the semiconductors behaves as the insulators. So because of this, the semiconductors at higher temperatures behaves as the conductors. So these are some of the properties, important properties of semiconductors. So now you see the types of semiconductors. So intrinsic semiconductors and then the extrinsic semiconductor. Intrinsic semiconductors, they are the pure semiconductor. They are a pure form of semiconductors. Say germanium, silicon, they are the pure semiconductors. They are intrinsic semiconductors. In case of intrinsic semiconductors, the number of holes must be equal to number of electrons. The density of electrons must be equal to density of the holes. Then extrinsic semiconductors, they are impure semiconductors. Some impurity can be added to the pure semiconductor, then that becomes extrinsic semiconductor. So by the process of doping, here doping means the process of adding impurity atoms to the pure semiconductor. So further, the nature of dopant, the nature of the adding impurity, based on that fact, the extrinsic semiconductors, they can be classified into two types. Say N-type semiconductor and P-type semiconductors. Then what are N-type semiconductors? How they can be obtained? What are P-type semiconductors? How they can be obtained? Here N-type semiconductors, they are a negative type semiconductor. Why they are called negative type semiconductor? Because In case of n-type semiconductor, the density of the electrons must be greater than the density of the holes. That means the density of the negative charge carriers is greater than the density of the positive charge carrier. In case of p-type semiconductor, the density of the holes must be greater than the density of the electrons. That means the density of the positive charge carriers is greater than the density of the negative charge carriers. So called p-type semiconductor, positive type semiconductor. Here the n-type semiconductor, they can be obtained by adding pentavalent impurities, maybe phosphorus, arsenic, etc. They are called donor impurities because they can donate free electrons to the pure semiconductor. So what we know that in this case the density of the electrons must be greater than the density of the holes. Here p-type semiconductor, they can be obtained by adding trivalent impurity atoms like gallium, boron, indium, aluminium, etc. So they are called acceptor, not donor impurities. They are acceptor impurity atoms. They can accept the electron from the pure semiconductor. So in this case, the holes, they are the more in number when compared to electrons. So called the classification of semiconductors. So now let us discuss about intrinsic semiconductor. So what I said earlier, the same thing. An intrinsic type of semiconductor material is made very pure chemically. It is made up of only a single type of element. Simply it is called pure semiconductor. That's all. In case of intrinsic semiconductor, conduction mechanism, in case of intrinsic semiconductors, in absence of electric field, so here given in the below diagram, and in the presence of electric field. So now you see the first diagram A, how the that means this is the silicon semiconductor where the 4 tetrahedral bond covalent bonds, each semiconductor, that means silicon atom, they forming 4 covalent bond with the neighboring other 4 silicon atoms, such that they forming covalent bonds. At a low temperature, all the electrons, they are involving in the formation of covalent bond. That means no free electrons which are available for conduction of electricity. So under that condition, where the substance, so called silicon, which behaves as an insulator. If some energy, if suppose the temperature of the material, if it increases, then the covalent bonds which breaks up, such that the hole and electron pair will be formed. So that means where the electron jumps from valence band to conduction band at a higher temperature, where vacancy of electron, vacant site of electron to be created in the valence band is known as hole. What about the electron jumping from valence band to conduction band? So called conduction electron, so called free electron. where that free electron which is responsible for the conduction of electricity. So, under that condition, where the semiconductor which conduct electricity, which behaves as a conductor. So that is the history of the left diagram. So then come to the right diagram. When the electric field is applied at a suitable strength of electric field, the covalent bond which breaks up such that the more number of electrons they can jump from valence band to conduction band, then the more vacancies created in the valence band, so they are called holes. What about the number of electrons which are present in the conduction band? They are called free electrons. So that means because of the free electrons which are present in the conduction band, so the material which conduct electricity. So here the germanium and silicon are the most common type of intrinsic semiconductor elements. Usually they are used in various field, in case of various electronic devices. They have 4 valence electrons, so they are called tetravalent. They are bound to the atom by covalent bond at absolute zero temperature. So what I said earlier, here the germanium and silicon, they are tetravalent atoms. That means they have 4 valence electrons. All those 4 valence electrons, they are forming covalent bond with other 4 atoms. At zero temperature, at absolute zero temperature, all they are bound to the nucleus, to the atom by covalent bond. That means there is no free electrons. So under that condition, so the material, so-called semiconductor, so-called germanium silicon, behaves as an insulator. When the temperature rises due to collisions, few electrons are unbounded and become free to move through the lattice, thus creating an absence in its original position, so-called hole. That means a vacant state of electron. These free electrons and holes contribute to the conduction of electricity in the semiconductor. So, negative and positive charge carriers are equal in number. Always the negative and positive charge carriers, they are equal in number. Then the thermal energy is capable of ionizing few atoms in the lattice, and hence their conductivity is less. In intrinsic semiconductors, current flows due to the motion of the free electrons as well as holes. The total current is the sum of electron current due to thermally generated electrons and the hole current IH. So total current in the semiconductor I, that must be equal to sum of electron current and hole current I is equal to IE plus IH. For an intrinsic semiconductor, at a finite temperature, the probability of electrons to exist in conduction band decreases exponentially with increasing band gap. That means N is equal to N naught e to the power of minus Eg by 2 kB T. Very easy, we know that energy, that means band gap, then the kb Boltzmann constant. So today we discussed about what are semiconductors, then what are the different types of semiconductors, then the properties of semiconductors, how the semiconductor that can be classified, that means intrinsic semiconductor and then the extrinsic semiconductors, the method of, that means doping, then what happens if suppose the impurity atoms, if they are added to the pure semiconductor, then what is energy gap, then what about the factor on which the conductivity of semiconductor which depends, and so on. Thank you.